Part 1. Into the forest, nestled in the heart of the old county of Blackwood, there stood a forest that had haunted the dreams of the locals for centuries. It was known simply as the Blackwood Forest, an expanse of ancient trees and creeping shadows that held secrets darker than night itself. Folklore spoke of restless spirits, vengeful apparitions, and a cursed tree deep within the wood. Caroline, a seasoned paranormal investigator, had heard the legends and dared to venture where others feared to tread. Armed with her camera and a relentless curiosity, she had come to the Blackwood Forest in search of the supernatural. Her investigations had taken her to some of the most haunted places in the country, but nothing had prepared her for what lay ahead. As she entered the forest, the air grew thick with an eerie silence, and the leaves on the trees seemed to whisper ancient secrets. The setting sun cast long, skeletal shadows, and the distant hoot of an owl echoed like a mournful dirge. Caroline felt the weight of centuries pressing down upon her. Her first night in the forest was uneventful, save for the constant feeling of being watched. The forest seemed to come alive with the rising of the moon, its nocturnal symphony a haunting serenade. Her heart raced as she snapped photos of the dense undergrowth and gnarled trees, each image capturing a slice of the eerie atmosphere. While in the second night, things took a sinister turn. As she camped near an ancient oak, Caroline heard footsteps in the distance. The sound was soft, like leaves rustling, but it was distinct. She grabbed her flashlight and followed the noise deeper into the forest, feeling compelled by an unknown force. In a small clearing, she came upon a ghostly figure, a woman draped in tattered white robes, her hair disheveled and her face gaunt. The woman's eyes were empty voids that seemed to pull Caroline into the depths of despair. A mournful wail escaped her lips, chilling Caroline to the bone. "Help me," the spectral woman moaned. "Release me from this cursed forest." Caroline's instincts screamed at her to flee, but her compassion overruled her fear. She reached out to touch the woman's shoulder, and in that moment, a bone-chilling scream erupted from the trees. The forest itself seemed to come alive, its trees twisting and contorting as if in agony. The ghostly woman disappeared, and Caroline was thrown to the ground. She scrambled to her feet and stumbled back to her campsite, her heart pounding. The forest had shown her a glimpse of its malevolent power, and she knew she had to be cautious. Part 2. The Cursed Tree. For the next few days, Caroline continued her investigation, capturing chilling evidence of supernatural phenomena. She documented strange lights in the sky, disembodied whispers, and eerie apparitions that appeared and vanished like fleeting shadows. On the sixth night, as the moon hung low in the sky, Caroline stumbled upon a clearing unlike any she had seen before. In the center of it stood a massive, twisted tree with gnarled roots that seemed to writhe like serpents in the moonlight. Its branches were bare and twisted, devoid of leaves or life. Caroline's heart raced as she approached the tree, a sense of foreboding washing over her. She felt an unnatural pull, as if the tree itself beckoned her closer. The air grew colder, and the silence deepened to an oppressive stillness. As she circled the cursed tree, her flashlight revealed a series of markings etched into the bark, a language she couldn't decipher, symbols of an ancient and malevolent origin. They seemed to pulse with dark energy. It was then that she realized the tree was the epicenter of the forest's malevolence. With a sense of trepidation, she began to photograph the cursed tree, capturing the symbols and the eerie aura that surrounded it. Suddenly, a voice echoed through the clearing, a voice that seemed to emanate from the tree itself. "Release me." It whispered, a haunting plea that sent shivers down Caroline's spine. Free me from this torment. Caroline stepped back, her heart pounding as the ground beneath the tree began to crack and split. A gnarled, skeletal hand emerged from the earth, followed by another. A figure, ancient and grotesque, clawed its way out of the ground, its eyes burning with malevolent fury. Release me. The creature roared, its voice a chorus of tortured souls. It lunged at Caroline, and in her desperation, she raised her camera, snapping a photo just as the creature reached her. A blinding flash of light erupted from the camera, illuminating the clearing. When the light faded, the cursed tree was gone, and the creature with it. Only the markings on the ground remained, scorched into the earth. Part 3. Conclusion. Caroline stumbled back, her mind reeling from the encounter. She couldn't believe what she had just witnessed. She checked her camera, and the photo she had taken of the creature was there, proof of the unimaginable. With a sense of both triumph and dread, she knew she had uncovered something beyond her wildest nightmares. Days turned into weeks as Caroline continued her investigation, determined to unravel the mysteries of the Blackwood forest. She shared her findings with the world, and her story garnered widespread attention. Paranormal enthusiasts and experts from around the globe descended upon the forest, eager to explore its malevolent secrets. But as more and more people ventured into the Blackwood forest, a darkness began to spread. The forest seemed to feed on their fear, growing stronger with each passing day. The once thriving ecosystem withered, and the ancient trees twisted and contorted, their roots like grasping hands. Caroline's triumph turned to horror as she witnessed the forest's malevolence consuming those who dared to enter. Her fellow investigators vanished without a trace, and the eerie wails of trapped souls echoed through the woods. She realized that the cursed tree had been a guardian, a sentinel that had kept the forest's darkness contained. Desperate to atone for her actions, Caroline returned to the cursed clearing, hoping to find a way to restore the tree and seal the forest's malevolence once and for all. But it was too late. The tree could not be brought back, and the darkness was unstoppable. In her final moments, as the forest shadows closed in around her, Caroline understood the horrifying truth. The Blackwood forest had used her as a pawn to escape its prison. It had manipulated her into setting it free, and now it would continue to spread its malevolent influence, consuming all who entered. As she succumbed to the darkness, Caroline's last thought was a chilling realization. She had unwittingly unleashed a force more powerful and insidious than anything she could have ever imagined. The Blackwood forest was no longer just haunted. It had become a nightmare incarnate, a living, breathing entity of pure malevolence, and there was no escape.